and welcome to TVC News at 7. We'll begin in Abuja, where it is good news for some businesses, particularly the aviation sector, as the federal government makes pronouncements to assist their post-COVID recovery. The federal government says it has approved the sum of 5 billion naira as bailout for airlines and other business owners in the sector. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika made the announcement on Monday. The minister said the sum of 4 billion naira is for airline operators, while an additional 1 billion naira is for other business owners in the aviation sector. Mr. Sirika says the government's decision to offer the bailout is based on recognition of the pivotal role of the aviation sector to the Nigerian economy. Still on aviation this time, the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation wants the concession plan for some airports in the country to be put on hold. The committee directed the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, to suspend the privatization of the 4 airports to give room for the resolution of some critical issues. The chairman, Nnolim Naji, gave the directive at an interactive meeting of the committee with the authorities of the ministry. The airport as those in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt and Kano. Although the minister was not at the meeting, the lawmaker said the concession process, which has been rejected by workers' unions in the sector, be put on hold, pending the resolution of the concerns of the workers. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is currently interrogating a former chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Babatune Fowler. The former Chief Executive Officer, Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, was invited by the anti-graft agency on Monday. Spokesperson of the EFCC, Wilson Owujare, confirmed the invitation to journalists. According to the EFCC, Mr. Fowler is being interrogated in connection with an ongoing investigation by the anti-graft agency. At the moment, there is no time frame at which the EFCC will be through questioning Mr. Fowler. From Abuja to Kaduna, where a strategic meeting between a federal government delegation, northern governors and traditional rulers in the region is ongoing at the government house in the state capital. It is unclear the issues being discussed, but security and other concerns are likely on the list. Those making the federal government team include Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu, Minister of Information Lai Mohammed, among others. The call for restructuring of the country is getting louder by the day. The latest call is from Enugu, where traditional rulers in that state are demanding the full implementation of the 2014 National Conference resolutions and a restructured federation. They made the call in Enugu at the town hall meeting with Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Nyama, who was visiting as part of consultations to address the demands made by NSAS protesters. Bamidele Ajayi reports.
On the 26th of October, President Muhammadu Buhari gave his ministers a 1-week ultimatum to submit reports of their consultations with their constituents on the NSAS protest hijacked by hoodlums that plunged some part of the country into unprecedented violence. In Enugu State, the opinion leaders drawn from traditional institutions, town unions, community heads, religious leaders, and the academic community were in attendance to discuss the way forward.
What we need in this country is restructuring. There must be practical steps towards restructuring. In addition to the communique of the Governors Forum, and with other suggestions that come up here, we must strengthen agencies so they can always communicate with the people, because if people know what you're doing, people cannot revolt. And as you get back, do not hesitate to tell His Excellency. Let him study the what do you call it, gentlemen? National Conference resolution of 2014 to avoid future occurrence of this nature.
The minister admonished the leaders to ensure they constantly engage the political leadership to be able to bridge the perceived gap between the leaders and the led.
Proposals I made, and I think it's been also embraced, is we have to put an institutional framework. So it's not an ad hoc. When there's a crisis, you engage and so forth. But you have to have an institutional mechanism, a youth council, a youth representative, through which they have they can engage with governance, institutionalization of these things, so that it doesn't become reactive. It's not just reacting, but you have mechanisms that is inclusive.
Everybody is happy with the initiative taken by Mr. President to send the ministers to address the youth. And the youth are beginning to listen. Communication, dialogue, this is very important. And we commend it. We want it to continue.
It has been a long week of engagements, rising from the two-day Southeast Leaders meeting, where policies of constant engagement with the youth was in focus, with promises to set aside special rehabilitation and empowerment fund from each state of the zone to be dedicated to the youth project. The participants at the town hall meeting also applauded the president for the initiative, requesting that such interactive platform should be sustained as measures that will create room for participatory democracy and good governance. Bamidele Ajayi, TVC News, Enugu.
Let's now turn attention to Nasarawa State, where youth there are taking positive steps in maintaining peace in the state. The youth, under the auspices of Nasarawa Youth Initiative for Peace and Good Leadership, have adopted dialogue as a solution to the 5-point demand of the NSAS protesters. The group took this position at its first annual conference held in Lafia, the capital of Nasarawa State. Chairman of the initiative, Farula Foku, noted that protests and counter-protests would lead the country into a state of anarchy. He appealed to other youths across the country to sheath their swords and go into dialogue with the government in order for their demands to be met. Now, about 50% of the items looted in Adamawa State have been recovered, as the looters are now freely surrendering their loot to the authority. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri disclosed this in a statewide broadcast, where he also noted that the 24-hour curfew imposed on the state due to the 3-day looting spree and destruction of private and government warehouses has been relaxed. Correspondent Owolabi Adenusi filed in this report.
Security operative now mount checkpoints at all entry and exit points to Adamawa State. It is part of measures to stop looters of COVID-19 palliatives and other stolen items from fleeing from the state with the looted items. The cheering news is that some looted items were voluntarily returned before the expiration of the 24-hour ultimatum issued by the state. The governor noted satisfaction, the remorse displayed by some of the looters. This, he says, made him to rescind his order for a house-to-house search and revocation of the CFO of any landlord in whose property stolen items were found. He has also relaxed the 24-hour curfew.
Over 50% of the looted items have been recovered, among which are 86 tractors out of the 110, and more are being surrendered. It is not in the character of our citizens to break the law. Neither are we known for involvement in brigadage. This is partly why there has been a tremendous response in the voluntary return of the valuable items that were carted away.
The governor had earlier visited some damaged infrastructure, including the custom headquarters and the Bond Road Safety Corps building, to ascertain the level of damage done.
At least imagine that a human being can do this thing, because it goes beyond hunger. It goes beyond looking for food. It has gone to the extent that people were just damaging what they can see around.
But the leadership of local government workers, local government education and primary health workers are worried about the huge impact that destroyed facilities will have on the economy of the state. They urge Governor Ahmadu Fintiri not to be distracted from his 11-point agenda.
If forum resolved that we condemn the looting and stealing of government and individual properties in its totality, and are calling on our teeming youth to be calm.
We are lucky. The people of Adamawa State are lucky to get His Excellency that have the yearning and aspiration of his people at mind.
The government has estimated that over 80 billion naira will be spent to replace the property damaged in the 3 days looting spree by the miscreants.
From Adamawa to Jos, the Plateau State capital, it's been days after the NSAS protest turned violent. Now, innocent victims, owners of legitimate businesses and state government are still paying the heavy price of what they did not foresee. Trillions of naira have been lost, with telltale signs of the horror that characterized the hijack of the peaceful protest by hoodlums. State governors, business owners and victims are still taking stock of their losses as government officials visit scenes of destruction. In Plateau State, 35 public and private properties worth about 75 billion naira were vandalized. Correspondent Funam Joshua reports.
These are youth groups drawn from the 17 council areas of Plateau State. They are invited by Governor Simon Lalong to discuss way forward after the NSAS protest that was hijacked by hoodlums in the state. And he is not pleased about damage left behind once the dust had settled. 35 public and private properties estimated at about 75 billion naira were vandalized and stolen by hoodlums.
We are still trying to carry out a comprehensive evaluation of the total cost of damage. However, a preliminary report by a team of experts I constituted has estimated the loss to be put at about 75 billion naira for now.
The session of dialogue is declared open, and the representatives of the #NSAS protest are first permitted to speak before others.
We demand justice for all victims of police and military brutality, such as Henry Anthony Docotry, Joshua Malan, Reggie Peter Bala, Shedrack Combs Bernard, and all others.
Some youth leaders and participants commend Governor Simon Lalong for initiating the town hall meeting and urge him to continue. These are youth groups drawn from the 17 council areas of Plateau State. They are invited by Governor Simon Lalong to discuss way forward after the NSAS protest that was hijacked by hoodlums in the state. And he is not pleased about damage left behind once the dust had settled. 35 public and private properties estimated at about 75 billion naira were vandalized and stolen by hoodlums.
We are still trying to carry out a comprehensive evaluation of the total.
We apologize for that mix-up there. A first-class monarch in Ogun State, Oba Akintunde Akinyemi, the Iselu of Iselu land, has called on the state government and other governors in other 5 southwest states to consider massive investment in youth empowerment in order to prevent youth unrest, protest, looting, and other things that may cause breach of peace in the land. He made the call in Abeokuta while suggesting the way forward for the government in order to provide lasting solution to the challenges of unemployment and poverty in Nigeria. The monarch said, with proper training and employment creation, most of the youth will be meaningfully engaged and contribute to the economic growth of the country and their states.
I want to plead with the governor of Ogun State, including other state governors in Southwest, to use the opportunity of the NSAS agitation to dialogue, engage youth. As we can see, these youth are still very energetic to be engaged in legitimate undertakings in the society. That they should set up vocational skills centers to enable our youth to acquire skills that will make them become better persons in the society. If this is done, some of them who are school dropouts or who roam the street doing nothing with disease from constituting danger to the society.
You're watching TVC News at 7. There will be more stories in just a moment. Stay with us.
Make a load recharge card and beg. I don't find the money.
Plenty to win for the 9 Mobile Mega Millions promo. 1 million naira for one person every day for 90 days. 2 smartphones every hour, every day for 90 days. 10 million naira start price today. New customers just come with side or buy a new line, and we go send you free 1 gigabyte plus 500 naira airtime. So make you the recharge 200 naira or more. Make you for the win.
9 Mobile.
Plenty more people go still be millionaire. For them no day bag of goodies, sell and be a millionaire. Yes, so the promo don't extend go December 2020. Oh, we plenty more who still there for you to still win. Oh, so you still fit be millionaire, and you still fit win instant prizes like bicycles, motorcycles, television, and plenty of move. For you to win, now to just buy any bag of cement with the right bag of goodies too on top. Remove and scratch the scratch card where they inside, and you feel win instant prizes. Inside, I'm going to put packs, make you keep the same scratch card for the spell to win star prize. Get all the cards to spell CANGOTE and be a millionaire. If you go collect your prizes from Dangote Depot, regional offices and selected wholesale outlets within your area. Promo go day until December 15, 2020. Dangote Bag of Goodies season 2. Spell and be a millionaire. This year go still better for you.
Make a load recharge card and beg. I don't find the money.
Plenty to win for the 9 Mobile Mega Millions promo. 1 million naira for one person every day for 90 days. 2 smartphones every hour, every day for 90 days. 10 million naira start price today. New customers just come with side or buy a new line, and we go send you free 1 gigabyte plus 500 naira airtime. So make you the recharge 200 naira or more. Make you for the win.
9.
Welcome back. It's TVC News at 7. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, has encouraged political and traditional rulers in the southwest region, irrespective of their differences, to work for unity and development of the region. Oba Adeyemi gave the admonition when he visited the Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Abdurrashid Akombi, in his palace. TVC News correspondent Rafiu Hamid reports.
Southwest region, comprising of 6 states, is a Yoruba-dominated area in Nigeria. The region, which accounts for 21% of the entire population of the country, according to 2006 census, hosts Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, and Ibadan, the biggest city in West Africa. Despite producing important figures who had made the continent proud, people of the region are not seen as united as expected. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, during his visit to the palace of Oluwo of Iwo, is not happy about this development. He believes politics contributed to how the region is not developing as expected.
Politics has divided us. When you are charged to belong to this political party, whether as a result of your neutrality, other people in other political party will never support you. And politics will not be played like that. So, Yoruba unity, we have to be very careful the way we go about it. But if we are painstaking, honest, we will get at the place we'll arrive at the place we are heading to.
Oba Lamidi Adeyemi encouraged traditional rulers in the region to be painstaking and honest in their practice of kingship.
We need a lot of persuasion to tell our people that we must be one as a race. We are suffering because we lack leadership. Everybody in Rwanda wants to be a leader, political leader. Take, for instance, chieftain institution. The government has proliferated chieftain institution. If they appoint somebody, they call him a royal majesty. Where is his majesty?
But when the Obas are in unison, which is one council of Yoruba Obas, not just state council of Obas, Yoruba council of Obas, there is a formidable force to build the Yoruba land and to also make us, the Obas, the kings in Yoruba land, to have more say and more power
He promised to champion the cause of reuniting the region with the support of other traditional rulers. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Iwo, Osun State.
Let's talk education now. The West African Examination Council has released the 2020 West African Senior School Certificate Examination results for school candidates. The results showed that a total of 1,003,668 candidates, representing 65.24% of the 1,538,445 students that wrote the examination, obtained a minimum of 5 credits, including English language and mathematics. Head of the Nigerian office of WAEC, Patrick Arenga, announced during a press conference that the results of 215,149 candidates, representing 13.98% of those that sat for the examinations, are being withheld for various reasons. Let's turn attention to Ondo State, where patients and other in the state and other neighboring states seeking medical attention could be in for a tough time now. This is connected to the decision of resident doctors at the Ondo State University Medical Sciences Teaching Hospital to embark on a warning strike over unpaid salary arrears. The doctors who commenced industrial action marched to the office of the Chief Medical Director, chanting solidarity songs. They said they had not been paid for 4 months by the management. They decried a situation where other health workers under Health Management Board are receiving their salaries regularly. Spokesperson of their group doctors, Dr. Taiwo Olagbe, appealed to well-meaning Nigerians to prevail on the state government to settle their unpaid salaries.
And we are using this to send a message to the power that be and to the management that it's not going to be business as usual. We are saying no to this. We are using this to send a message to the power that be that within this week, if nothing is done to salvage and ameliorate these impasses completely, that starting from Monday next week, we will go on total and complete industrial.
All arrears must be cleared. Every kobo that they are owing, each and every one of us must be cleared because it's our sweat. And we want to encourage the governor of Ondo State. The reason why it was voted for was because we want tranquility, we want calmness, we want peace in Ondo State. So if there is industrial disharmony in our health, it's not going to help peace. So we appeal to the governor.
The plan to mainstream your salary has been receiving attention. And I know too that that process is about to be completed. And we believe that's a long-term solution to this challenge of regularity salary payment. Short term, I know that management is working very hard to get funds from government to begin to pay some of these.
The federal government has now set aside 75 billion naira to support small and medium-scale businesses across the country. The move is to encourage young entrepreneurs, create job opportunities, and develop talent among youth. Director General, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, Diko Rada, disclosed this at the closing ceremony of this year's Skills Acquisition Training and Talent Hunt in Fashion, Arts and Craft in Zamfara State. Theophilus Darufai reports.
The rate of unemployment, youth restiveness, and rising cases of violence in Nigeria has become a thing of serious concern to many. Experts at this event identified talent waste as one of the factors responsible for the high rate of unemployed youths and security challenges bedeviling the Northwest Zone and the country at large. In its bid to stem the tide of insecurity, joblessness, and increase in crime, the federal government, through SMEDAN, has introduced a talent hunt program. It is aimed at discovering hidden talents, and identifying as well as showcasing innovative ideas in fashion, arts and crafts. The event for the Northwest Zone brought together young Nigerians from across 7 states of the region. The talent hunt is geared towards employment generation through wealth creation and self-reliance, thereby reducing poverty among young people in Nigeria.
The program is aimed at identifying talent among the youth, men and women, so that those talent can be turned into a business idea and we can cultivate and germinate it to grow and become a full-fledged businesses.
Earlier in his goodwill message, Governor Bello Mutawalli, represented by the speakers and for the State House of Assembly, Muazu Magaria, said the state government has a program aimed at empowering women and youth in the state. According to him, Zamfara is blessed with youths full of talent willing to explore for national developments.
Over 2,000 women across the state will be giving 20,000 naira cash to a new skill acquisition called the SIP program, which accommodates over 5,000 youth across the state.
People talk about tribulations in Zamfara State. They only talk of the abundant mineral resources that are exploited by criminals. That is not our only problem. Our major problem is talent waste.
Some of the participants commend the federal government for the project, saying it will go a long way in creating job opportunities for the teeming unemployed and address youth restiveness.
I'll use this money and occupy a bigger space whereby I can teach at least 20 to 30 students at a time.
I am feeling happy, very happy.
The nationwide skill acquisition program and talent hunt in fashion, arts and craft is expected to hold in 4 geopolitical zones of the country.
That's it on TVC News at 7. Thank you very much for staying with us. Do stay with the station for more updates on our stories and other programs.
Make a load recharge card, I beg. I don't find the money.
Plenty to win for the 9 Mobile Mega Millions promo. 1 million naira for one person every day for 90 days. 2 smartphones every hour, every day for 90 days.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Make a load recharge card, I beg. I don't find the money.
Plenty to win for the 9 Mobile Mega Millions promo. 1 million naira for one person every day for 90 days. 2 smartphones every hour, every day for 90 days. 10 million naira start price today. New customers just come with side or buy a new line, and we go send you free 1 gigabyte plus 500 naira airtime. So make you the recharge 200 naira or more. Make you for the win.
9 Mobile. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Voted as the best TV station of the year, TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big and impactful stories, we tell the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
More than 3 bullets was found in Kodade's body. The man was saying in the court that he didn't mean to shoot the gun.
The worst thing that you can do is to argue with an angry person. Because remember that angry person is holding a gun.
You're talking of quality assurance of the entire police force, and the minimum entry level is O level. Then that quality is really stuck.
Nigeria is not the worst country in terms of the extenuating situation. Why do we seem to prefer fraud? Fraud is...
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Make a load recharge card, I beg.
hundreds of underprivileged and homeless children. Ola Awakon's Sunday Special is on Ihuoma Harrison.
Excerpts from the report I did that has now brought smiles to the faces of many, young and old. Well-meaning Nigerians home and abroad called to reach out to the lady with a lion's heart, daring to sacrifice so much in her effort to use arts as a vehicle for helping the helpless.
I took my time to watch.
Some got emotional.
I cannot help myself without shedding tears. So emotional, and I sincerely appreciate this young lady.
After some weeks,
the impact of the media knows no bound. After the story that TVC did on the Gifted Steppers Children's Theatre Company, many things have changed for them. And that is why we are here again today, to see those things that have changed.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you. After TVC came here for the report, things have changed, like tremendously. Things have changed. The things we never had before, we now had. Calls kept coming in after the report. Calls kept coming in from all over the world, London, America, Nigeria, different states, Nigeria, calling that, we saw your documentary on TVC, like we saw that you needed this, we heard you saying you need this, you need that, how can we come in, how can we, and people said donating.
Ihuoma Harrison was also given a postgraduate scholarship to study theatre arts at the African American University.
I was also offered a scholarship to study theatre at PGD. Just received a call that, do you know what, we want to touch your own life also. We're going to sponsor you to African American University to study. And they were like, and what course did you study? I said, I did marketing when I was in school, LASU. They're like, okay, but you have passion for the art? I said, yes. Would you like to study theatre art? I said, yes, I would love to. So we are giving you a scholarship.
She took me in to see the changes.
These funds, they were not here before. It was donated by people that saw the documentary. This wardrobe also was not here before. And the net, this window had no net. Those artworks were done by the kids. Gifted Steppers, let's start. Action.
You cannot step into a house of theatre without being served with a dish of performance. This interesting piece that speaks to the consciousness of residents of Lagos about cleaning the environment was staged. With proportionate energy, the children danced, drummed, sang and acted. It was an avenue to say thank you to all those who reached out financially and materially.
I want to say thank you to His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Governor Sanwo-Olu, for reaching out to us.
Eko akete, aromisale gbẹlẹgbẹ amorawa. Eko eleyo, aromisale gbẹlẹgbẹ amorawa. I'm very happy. Before, I I do not even know if breeze will even touch us. If we need breeze, we just go outside and go and sit down, let breeze to touch us. But now, we can stay inside, breeze can be touching us.
But the challenges are not all over.
We need another house, our own house that will not pay for rent, that the house will be comfortable, and a bus, and a gen, because sometimes we might not know when someone might be sick, like in the night. If we want to take that person to hospital, it's not that we not start carrying the person and be looking for bike.
The landlady is complaining that she doesn't like the artwork we hanged on the sitting room. That it's going to spoil her walls. She kept complaining that she never liked it, that Oma, it's to spoil my walls. And she kept complaining that we are rehearsing inside the sitting room, that as we are rehearsing to be spoiling her tiles. And yes, we have a big compound here that we can rehearse outside the sitting room. But if we rehearse here, the man living next compound, he's not even living in our compound, he's living next compound to us. He'll be complaining. He'll be shouting my name from his house. Oma! Oma!
Remember this family with over 9 years of moving from one uncompleted building to another? The story has changed. They are now moving to a new apartment. This room and a parlor self-contained apartment is their new home.
Mi fọkàn sí pé irú nǹkan báyìí lè ṣẹlẹ̀ bọ̀ mo tún dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹni tó ṣe wá lóore torí inú mi ń dùn ayé tí mo wà lónìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ inú mi ń dùn gan Ọlọ́run mi ò kàn mọ̀ bí mo ṣe lè tún dúpẹ́ yẹn dáadáa ni inú mi sáà ń dùn mo dá dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹni tó ṣe mí lóore.
Yàtọ̀ náà kò ní bàjẹ́ lọ́rọ̀ náà ló ṣe tán ṣerú eléyìí fún mi lọ́jọ́ ìní tán mú inú mi dùn lọ́jọ́ ìní ìbànújẹ́ tó kéré tó tóbi kò ní wọlé tọ̀ wọ́n wá olówó rí kò ní mọ́ kò ní jẹ́ pin wọn ibi tán ti mówó yẹn wọn ò ní kábàámọ̀.
The Jimo family did not see it coming.
Thank you, sir.
This man who lives in the UK is their benefactor. He saw the story on TVC News and got inspired to be a change maker to the family.
I needed to do something, and that's why I've done this.
After paying for 2 years and furnishing the apartment, Dotun Ogunjinrin says he is ready to set the family up in their choices of businesses for them to be able to take care of the children. The TVC News feature played a pivotal role in all of this, telling stories that will lead to changing narratives of those living in slums and squalor, such as the Jimo family, and encouraging exceptional talent as reflected in the life of the gifted steppers could become the ultimate game changer for the underprivileged.
I started like this. So if I hadn't gotten the opportunity to necessary support to be where I am today, I wouldn't have been here today, even to give my own back to them. I thank Oma very much, and I also thank TVC for taking it upon themselves to promote this for people to see, not just to watch, but to be part of and impact the future lives.
And the government must also live up to their responsibilities of making the society livable for the ordinary masses.
This is the Opokuma Road, constructed by the Niger Delta Development Commission in 2005.